I don't know what happened here, but boy, it wasn't minor. Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. This is a neighborhood Mexican food place, but I can't imagine how that happened. I have no idea how that would have happened, y'all. They still open for business, though. But man,
What happened here?
I have no idea. No clue. I don't even know how that's even possible. Man. So yeah, that's how we're starting the video. Hope everybody's having a good day. I just wanted to capture that footage. I was walking past it. I don't know what happened there, man. No clue. Yeah, man, I'm getting out the house, man. I didn't know if I wanted to make this a Laker video or a therapy session. Probably should be a therapy session given how it started. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I feel pretty good, man. Getting out the house. Got checked into the room yesterday, of course, and as I told you guys, you know, I got the information on my grandfather, which was not encouraging in regards to his health. We're pretty much preparing for the end now, and you know, I haven't heard any updates since then. But I did a lot of praying this morning for him and for my uncle and everybody that's in the vicinity there. So, you know, we're just gonna wait it out and prepare. Of course, I gotta consider my situation as it pertains to getting suits and stuff like that, because I don't really have a suit right now. I got some slacks. I got a like this type of collar shirt or whatever, but nothing that would be appropriate, in my opinion, for his funeral. So I have to consider that, but like I don't know if I want to rent a suit, because I'm not really trying to add a suit to my everyday carrying stuff. You know what I mean? So renting one probably makes more sense for someone like myself, who has to always be on the move with all of my belongings. I'm not as worried about how this is going to go, because I'm only going to be gone for maybe a couple of days at the most. So that's just going to be like, I'll leave most of my stuff in the room here, and just understand that I have to be back here to pay for the room, or I can check out that day for a couple of days, you know what I mean, break the contract. I think there are ways to do that. And then just check back when I come back. But where my stuff will go, I'm not really sure. So I ain't gonna bring everything with me. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really sure how to handle all that. Hopefully it'll be in the middle of the contract, the beginning of the week or something. I just pay for the upcoming week ahead of time, maybe. That way I can, you know, it's a lot of stuff that just has to be worked out, and I'm pretty sure it can be worked out. So that's really what it comes down to. I'm not as worried about that as maybe I would be in most situations. It's just not something I'm worried about. I have to go to Fresno and come back. That's really what it comes down to. But yeah, man. I obviously, we don't want to put a timeline on something like that. My uncle said he believes my grandfather has a couple weeks. So I don't know. You know, I'd love to think we have a lot more than that. But we will deal with things as they come, and of course there are a lot of things to address as that happens. So, you know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, man. But what else is going on? Not really a whole lot, man. Just going out and getting some groceries right now. Of course, I always have to continue to replenish food. Today is the 7th, so my EBT and my GR is all replenished in there. I didn't check, but I'm hoping it's there. It should be there. And you know, just buy what I need to buy. You know, that's it. And get the exercise in that I need. And you know, just try to deal with myself, man. This situation with my grandfather's, it's distracting, I guess is the word. I mean, I don't know that I can say that it's distracting, but it's thrown me off some, I'd imagine. Naturally, one would think it would, but for me, I just feel like I'm thrown off. It's like something that legitimately has me moving a little differently. It pertains to, like, I got up this morning, it was like 8 o'clock. I told you guys I'd been getting up later. Not this morning, I got up early. You know, just feeling a little mentally lazy. Didn't feel like shaving, but I shaved anyway. You know, that kind of thing. I'm forcing myself to do stuff. Yesterday, I didn't feel like doing my my hundreds workout. I didn't really have much of an excuse, but I didn't do it anyway. Just fighting laziness is what I think this is kind of doing. I don't know. But I'm still active. I'm winning these battles in that way. And getting out today, you know, wasn't too hard. But just like shaving, I just did not feel mentally intentional on just doing little stuff. And so I had, like, the push-ups were a little harder to get up and do. I don't know. I feel physically drained a little bit, but not mentally. I'm well rested, so I don't know. It's just, I'm just thrown off, I guess. But yeah, man, just moving as I have to do anyway. And you know, just prayerful, asking the Lord to figure all the particulars out in my circumstance, keep me intentional on using my voice for the right reasons on this channel. And you know, I think in some weird way, I think I'm fatigued by all that's been going on with the Lakers, if I'm being honest with you. It's not even about winning and losing. It's a schedule, man, as I was telling you guys in the previous video. All these early games, you know, having to do all the homework on each and every team, it throws the schedule off a bit, you know. And the games are coming regularly all the time, so it's like, you know, I was listening to some Laker people talk about that this morning. They're looking forward to this 4-day, 5-day break that's coming up after this game tomorrow. So am I, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can only imagine how fatigued the team is having to play out this schedule and actually travel and stuff like that. Because I'm not even doing all that and I'm exhausted. So, yeah, man, I just think we all of us Laker people who really follow the team closely over the last couple of weeks, this has really been fatiguing of the mind, and I imagine for those professionals, for the body as well. It's just, I don't know, I think the schedule makers were really trying to cram a lot this year, and I think they may have overdone it in that way. It might have gave us a little too much at once. Spread that out a little bit, you know, trying to work the in-season tournament in and trying to have all these ironic matchups that bring old players back to the old teams and stuff like that for national games. It just, man, I'm telling you, the way that has to work out, it makes for some weird scheduling and some crammed scheduling. So I'm a bit tired, to be honest with you, when it comes to that. And as soon as the game ended yesterday, I was already doing homework on the next opponent. It's just like, damn, man, I want to do something else with my time. If they just give us 2 days off, that'll make it work. Between games, 2 days. That type of consistency would be so much better than 5 games in 7 nights. It's like, my God, man, how can we keep up with this? So that's really what it is for me. Just trying to keep up with the schedule and frustrated about having to, for an extended period of time. 1 week, 2 weeks of that is cool. For a whole month of this, it's like, damn, yo. Early games, so I got to adjust this, that, and the third. Every other day I'm adjusting. Not getting the exercise I need because of it. It's like, yo, man, this has become a burden. So I do think that has something to do with it. But yeah, man, as far as everything else is concerned, you know, I always talk about Gaza. I'll never stop talking about Gaza. I won't. It is still going on, and, you know, seeing stuff on images that just don't let up. But you know, the latest thing I heard that was interesting was there's a American politician of some sort. It's a guy that I've seen speak up on pro-Israeli stuff a lot. Essentially, this dude is telling everybody that he wants to put it into law that a certain part of Gaza be considered Samaria and Judea, I think is what he wanted to call it. I don't remember what he said he wanted to call it. But like, it's in law that you will acknowledge the West Bank as Judea and Samaria or whatever. I'm like, why? I fully understand why they doing this. What I don't understand is why they want us to believe that it's not complete and utter bullcrap. It's basically what I'm saying to you. Like, clearly they're being lobbied to have these things in law. They want us to believe that it's our civic duty to support Israel because that's how psychotic Israeli culture is. That everyone support them blindly, whether they're right or wrong, regardless if you're a part of what they're doing or not. You are goy and you're supposed to support them. You're supposed to be slaves to them in the end. So I understand why they're so warped into having people against their own will, support the genocidal intentions and their imaginary state. But why? What is it that my lawmakers want me to believe when they try to enforce me to buy into? That's what confuses me. It's like, what are you selling us? Are you selling us that you've been paid by lobby groups? and this is what their intentions are, and you're going along with it because of the honorable nature of that transaction? What are you telling me as a lie to make me go along with this, other than you're not giving me explanation at all? This is what it has to be. Because I'm not hearing anything. At this point, the only thing he's telling me to do is look into why he's asking me to do it. Like, literally. For which, like I said, I already know why. ZAPAC is paying him. But, like, it's all psychotic, man. It's all psychotic. You will, by law, acknowledge me. You will, by law, not boycott me, even though what I'm doing you fundamentally don't agree with. Like, there's this little town in Texas, from what I understand, that is wrote in law that they won't allow people who boycott Israel to receive aid upon natural disasters. Essentially, they make you sign a waiver saying that you won't boycott Israel in order to be eligible for your disaster relief. It's like, bro, if you don't get these people out of this situation, they're only going to continue to do this to us. They're going to make us align with what they're doing religiously in order to have our fundamental rights in place. Like, we are completely abandoning the Constitution for this entity, because we're honoring that they own stuff. Like, they own this, they have money, so they have the right. No, they don't have the right to do shit. This is going against my constitutional rights. Like, and so what they're giving birth to, whether they realize it or not, is more of what happened in New York with the CEO of the health insurance company. They're giving birth to people saying no, F that, and cocking their gun, literally. Your laws only matter as much as I'm willing to respect them. And if you show me that those laws have no merit in regards to me respecting myself and my environment, then it's the laws that I will break in order to uphold my sanity and my rights. And you let a bunch of bad people in place, putting laws in place that ultimately align with their intentions and that leave all of us hanging out to dry. If I have any sense of right and wrong within myself, I'm going to break that law and break your jaw for trying to impose it upon me. And that's what I think they need to start understanding. Like, we're not going to respect this. You can put it in the law all you want. You're just going to have a bunch of insubordinate people. You can tell us all day long that we need to respect this genocide and the religious intention against all of us that's supposed to put us all underneath the feet of people with small hats. We ain't going to listen to none of that. We're going to start breaking the law. If you're going to make it so that I have to eat crap as by law, I'm not going to eat crap. I'm going to break the law. So that's what they're going to find out is going to be the overall attitude as they continue to try to force people into acknowledging that it's okay for them to kill Palestinian people and snatch their land and make fun of them and dance around, all this type of stuff that they're doing in celebration of being above reproach. They're going to find out people are going to be wanting to take their heads off. Like, literally. The back door is going to be so far open for them people, there's going to be a backyard. It ain't even a back door. So, y'all keep playing with us like that, man. Putting all this crap in the law like we're going to follow it. You keep playing with us. That's what I tell these lobby makers. Y'all going to let Israel back you into a situation where your people are going to be turning on you. Soon enough. That's what's going to happen there. More and more laws you try to create to make it so that we're honoring that foreign entity, the more and more you're going to find people who are not going to respect the law. That's just what it is. You can enforce that law as much as you possibly can, but the more people start to understand what it is you've done, the more they're going to uproot the system that holds it together, one brick at a time. You're creating your own undoing, and you're disrespecting yourselves in regards to people trusting and believing that you're good lawmakers. By allowing this to be the case, you're effectively ushering in chaos. And if that's your devilish intention, which the devil often wants to usher in chaos, then you are definitely going to pull off what it is that he would want. A lot of people say they do things for God, but they're really only ushering in chaos and a lack of respect for authority by way of disrespecting authority while they have it and forcing people into circumstances that are far beyond unreasonable. I'm not going to worship Israel. That's not going to happen. There's nothing in your law that's going to make me, with a conscious mind, turn a blind eye to genocide. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing that's going to make that okay. You can back us into a corner where we're lying about it if that's what you want to do. Threaten us with 100 years of or the death penalty for not supporting Israel. But it's not going to make us support Israel. You understand what I'm saying? It's not an organic support. If you don't mind where everybody's just falling in line, regardless of whether or not they believe in what it is they're doing or not, that's fine. If that's what you're going to try to do, turn this into some type of dictatorship where people are moving against their will, and you're just going to find out it's going to be very difficult to get a bunch of people who've had free will for the last several hundred years to doing that. That type of thing probably works on people who are used to not having any rights at all. Not people who've had a constitutional agreement to free thought, free thinking, and all of that. You had to coerce us into believing that we had free will in order to have full compliance. In order to have full compliance, you had to coerce us into believing that within our propaganda mind controls stuff that was over our heads with all this media and all this, that we had the freedom to make our own decisions, that we had the freedom to our own religions, that we had the freedom to our own determination. You've coerced into people into believing they have their own freedoms, and now you're trying to take them away overnight for a foreign entity. Like, and you think people are going to align with that? You think people are going to roll? I don't know what type of psychology studies y'all doing, but y'all might want to start thinking about what it is that you're doing there, because it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's a joke, man. You're not gonna make a bunch of free-thinking Christians and people of America, whatever religion we are in, walking amongst each other with our, different communities and all these different things. You're not gonna make us fall in line with some dictatorship. It's not. I don't see that being possible. I don't see that being possible. And I think it's one of them situations where, if I'm being honest, the lobby makers are like, we'll humor you, we'll try. If you pay us money, we'll put it into action, see what happens. But I don't think they believe this is going to work either. I think Israel has the money to force them into circumstances that they don't necessarily believe in, and they'll go along with it because they're honoring the money. But if you ask them if they think this is actually something American people are going to go for, I don't think they think that. I don't think they think that. But he'll humor you, though. You give me some money, I'll run it past him, I'll read your script. But to be honest with you, you're getting conned, Israel. The dude is saying that all of this crap, he doesn't actually believe that he's going to go over in a way that has American people complying. All they're going to do is uproot that, snatch it out the wall. He's paid. You understand what I'm saying? He got his money. His whole purpose was to get paid. Not to convince everybody that what you own is straight. No, he's honoring the transaction. So if y'all want to keep paying these lobby makers into empty, processes that are supposed to coerce us into compliance, good luck. But that's not exactly how this thing has been wired for the last 500 years. So that's really what I think. I think it's kind of funny that Israel thinks they're gonna be able to make us worship them. Like, just because you believe your own lies doesn't mean that those lies are gonna line up, friends. That's the problem. Y'all believe we're the goy that are supposed to be your slaves. That doesn't necessarily mean that shit is true. And as you operate as if that shit is true, shows how delusional you are. And everybody who's supposed to help you make that happen is going to take your money, even though they know that shit is lie. They know they ain't rolling with that, not on the real life. They just going to keep on taking your money. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. You want to pay me $100 to read a script that says you're the greatest fairy of all and I believe you can fly around the world. I'm going to take the paper that you give me. I'm going to take the paper that you tell me to read off of. I'm going to read the script. And you walk away spinning around in circles thinking you're a fairy because I read a script to you that reinforces your fantasy. Doesn't make it any less false that your ass is a fairy. You understand what I'm saying? You're still a human being. And so it's like, that's kind of what Israel's on. That's what they're doing. And our greedy politicians that will sell their backside for a few dollars are taking the money. That's what's happening. Like, yes, the lawmakers can make it so that America is going to worship us. No, they ain't going to do shit. They're just going to take your money, read your script. That's all they're going to do. That's literally all they're going to do. Take your money, read your script. And laugh the whole way through like these idiots really think it's going to work. That's exactly what's happening now. And maybe they pledge allegiance to your religion. Maybe they went to your wall and did a few bounces and put their head down like they cared. That ain't no different than them going to a black church and singing black songs and Negro spirituals or whatever. They're pandering, fam. They're gonna do whatever they can to get the people they need to align with them and believe in them and trust them so that they'll pay them for whatever script they want them to read. They don't care. They just want our vote. They don't give a damn about the black people. They don't care about the Israeli people. Whoever pay them the most, that's who they rolling with. They sway like the wind. They're not devoted to you, Israel. Like, literally not, fam. And that's what I tell y'all. They're not devoted to you like that. They may have convinced you this somehow. They may be taking your money and reading your script. But as far as them actually thinking that they're going to convince America to call the West Bank Judea and Samaria, that's a joke, fam. They don't actually think we're going to do that. They're selling you beachside property in Iowa, my Jewish friends. So that's what really I wanted to say, man. I just think like Israel's in a space where they believe their own lies in such a degree, and they believe that what they're doing is so righteous, even though it's clearly not to the rest of us, and we're all telling them that they're moving in ways that invest in those lies as if it's going to bring back the response that comes with doing things properly and responsibly. Because they really believe these lies. It's not in their best interest, but they keep doing it. They keep doing it. And they have so many people aligned with them who've been raised in their propaganda, who believe the bullshit they believe. And they have so many people willing to take their money and read their scripts to where they're in a space where we're like, yeah, look around. Everybody agrees. This is what it is. Like, no, they ain't. No, man, they're all con men. And then brainwashed by the same bullshit you are. That's all that is. Those con men will take my dollar, and if I read a script that said F Israel, if I paid them enough money, they run you into the ground with their words that I hand them to read. Like, they're loyal to the dollar, they're loyal to the greed, man. That's it. They don't believe in you like that. They don't. They will use you as long as you have the opportunity to make them as wealthy as possible. If you got the way that they can get the minerals from Africa and do a deal with China and have the tunnels to move around through the Middle East and all this other stuff that puts them in a position to be on top 100 years, 200 years from now, they're going to keep on singing your song. They're going to keep on reading your script. But if you think their interests are aligned with your interests, no, that's not how that works. That's not how American white supremacy actually operates. It doesn't work that way. No. As long as you can give them what they want, they'll value you. As long as you look like you're winning, they'll value you. As long as you got them by the balls, they'll honor the fact that they don't want their balls squeezed. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes, Zionists. Take it from a descendant of the slave and a native. We know how these people are. Don't believe in them. Don't think they're going to align with what you got going on because it says it in the book. They're going to let you believe that they believe the lies you believe as they continue to be crooks and take your money. That's the real world. They can't be trusted. Just like you can't. So yeah, that's what I got to say, man. God be the glory, man. There's a real God up there. There's a lot of people who don't believe in God. There's a lot of people calling God the devil and calling devil to God and moving in different directions and saying they're doing it for good and whatever the hell they're doing. But at the end of the day, there's a real God up there who's looking at all of us like, okay, this is your latest move. This is what y'all gonna do. You're not even giving him a splinter. Like, you're not hurting in the least what he has going on. Thinking you're waging war with God. Okay. Like, that's literally his attitude in regards to all of this. And so y'all can keep on destroying yourselves, destroying your reputation, giving yourself generational curses, wiping away any respect that you would otherwise have left pointed at your people. Writing the laws and deteriorate the process from which people respect laws just by writing bullcrap into it. Y'all can keep doing that. Acting like y'all the gods of the earth, like y'all ain't gonna be having your day. You can do that if you want, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Humankind will keep going forward. God will continue to reign over the earth. And those who practice wicked religion are going to ultimately have to face him in the end. That's really what it is. And whatever his intentions on this earth going to be just that. So your evil religions and your practices of treating people poorly because they're not aligned with you and that you think you've chosen to be the gods of the earth just because it's written in a book, if that's something that you really believe, those are lies that are going to betray you in the end and keep you at war with the actual living God who created all of us for his own intentions, not for yours. Well, it says it in the book. Okay, and you're willing all that into reality, but don't necessarily have the wisdom that aligns with what comes when you do so. You're betraying all sense of self-respect, self-worth, self-control, all these different things so that you can be at the top of the globe in a world that hates you for it because you showed no compassion to it. If that's what you want your legacy to be, that's exactly what it's going to be. So I don't know, man. I've seen too many dead babies to toy around with these people. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about them. I've seen too much in my phone. I've seen too much in my life at this point to actually toy with them. You know, white supremacy has done enough to my own land and my own ancestors to the point where it's like I'm not toying with them either. Jewish supremacy, white supremacy, I won't toy with any of y'all when it comes to what I have to say. If y'all want to keep on being as evil as you've been, and you know there's going to be a natural reaction to that nonsense, that's not going to be very favorable to you. You're not going to like any of what comes of this. As it pertains to how people react to you, as it pertains to how people respect you or lack of such respect, you ain't going to get much of it, man. You're not going to get much of it. People will con you and leave the back door open for bad things to happen to you and poison you and all different types of stuff anytime they get an opportunity to. That's what's going to end up happening. You're going to create so much resentment that's going to be backed up by so much truth that ultimately all the lies that you believe are going to come back tumbling down on you. That's really what it is. It's not too many places where not too many people haven't been affected by your nonsense. It's everywhere you look in the globe, they doing something evil to people. And all trying to pillage the heart of this earth in Africa, full of all of its worth, as we talked about in the previous therapy session yesterday. Treating Angolese people horribly. I think that's what you call them. I'm not certain. It's not like they taught me anything about Africa over here. Congolese people, treating them poor, pillaging the land of all the wealth there, applying your own lawyer logic to yourself, but not to people of other countries, discarding of them and painting them out to be bad people to justify discarding of them. Y'all keep on doing this. The walls are going to close in on you. I'm telling you. Y'all keep acting like this, and your reputation is going to be continuing to build up worse and worse and worse. And as the world goes into the future, people are going to respect what you own and what it is that you control less and less and less. That's what's going to happen. Your propaganda is going to work less and less and less. The more these devices allow us to communicate with one another, the better we're going to be at moving around you and eventually moving you out of the picture. That's what you got to understand. All these people that are willing to pay in the genocide, they're going to die off. They're going to die. It ain't going to be a situation where you're going to continue to see that ignorance continue to control the majority of the money. More conversations are going to be had on these devices that are independent of propaganda. You're going to be trying your very best to silence people and regulate what they say and write into law what they say, and they're going to continue to break those laws every opportunity they get and get better at it. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to suppress it. It's going to be like a ladle. Everything that comes to it drips through it. That's what your power is going to be like. The further we go into the future and the more you continue to behave this way, the more likely people are going to be incentivized in trying to make it so that those pores get more and more gapped up and open so that more can bleed through it. The less people are likely to respect you as you move about the earth. The more likely people are going to be attacking you while you're most comfortable, while you sleep. You ain't going to be able to go to restaurants because people are going to be poisoning y'all foods, as I've mentioned more than once on this channel. That's going to be the way they get a lot of y'all. It's going to get harder and harder to find reliable security because you're going to find more and more of them only there to ultimately leave you open to be hurt. They're going to be weaseling their way into security companies so that they can open the back door for you. I'm telling you, man, y'all keep playing with people, but you rely upon people. Some of y'all don't even do your own laundry, but you want to toy around with people. I'm telling you, it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder. Because you don't respect that people keep what you have going. And you treat human beings like they're NPCs. Like they're empty, like they're just going to go into the ground at the behest of you comfortably without any resistance. You're not respecting what organisms need to do when it's time to survive. You don't respect that people are going to find a way to make it through the stuff that you put them through. You keep toying with us. Thinking we're going to go back in and change freely. Thinking we're going to know what your intentions are to make people slaves, calling us goy. Thinking we're going to just adhere to that because you got it in your book. You have no idea the will of human beings to survive whatever it is that you're going to try to put them through. They think it's just going to roll over because it's in their book and they believe it. All right, believe your own lies if you want. That don't mean I'm going to line up with that nonsense. So that's what people got to understand if they're in the positions of power of 1%. You are the minority. You do rely upon people to provide your security. Like, these are people who are ultimately going to be offended by the stuff that you're working into the equation. You rely upon us to send you our daughters and sons to fight your wars. That stuff is going to come to an end. Because the propaganda machine don't work no more. There's too many freelancers telling the truth every damn word. You got too many holes in the process of controlling the minds of others. You can't regulate enough of it because you don't know where we all are at. It's the reality of it. It ain't one television show, it's a million different streams. You don't know where we all are. You can go across the vast of the entire internet and you still gonna miss some stuff, and those are the things you cannot miss. That's what you're gonna find out. If you haven't already. And so good luck with that, Israel. Good luck with that, American politicians. Good luck trying to work what it is that you do. You better turn off all the lights. That's what I'll tell you. You better cut off all these damn devices before you go forward any of this nonsense you're trying to do. Because as long as this stuff is still going, it's continue to evolve, it's going to be harder and harder for you and your evil intentions to overcome the ambition of those who control that. You think you control the world, you're going to look up and find out you ain't got nothing. Because they're controlling everything that otherwise gets the information out. Not you. That you're going to be relying upon them, paying them to try to regulate for your intentions, and they ain't going to be interested. Why? Because they would have grew up on people like me. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. Video 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.